Good morning and welcome to the 8:15 Daily Operations Weather Brief. This morning we are seeing some cloudy conditions with the tail end of those overnight showers beginning to slowly diminish and push further out of our region, in which will allow for some slightly breezy conditions to follow, and ultimately that will help our afternoon temperatures climb into the mid-60s before yet another cold front is set to push through this evening, and that will pull the bottom out, if you will, of these mild temperatures that we have been seeing as of recently, and our overnight lows will drop a good bit. Now, taking a look at this morning's surface analysis, we do have high pressure remaining offshore, while we have a weakening disturbance continuing to slide through our region, and that is what has caused these needed showers with a few heavier bursts of rain. And over the past few hours, as mentioned earlier, that coverage has been fading away. That's as a result of that moisture and favorable region of lift moving more to the north and northeast of our local area. However, with that being said, we may see a stray shower or two lingering in the wake. But as of this moment, the main round of showery activity has since passed. For the rest of today, this will be our last mild day for a while, with our highs expected in the mid-60s, and that is before that strong cold front mentioned earlier sweeps through the area tonight from west to east as a Midwest low begins to lift into both Ontario and Quebec. And behind that trailing cold front, we'll see those winds turn to west and northwesterly, and those overnight lows will drop into the 30s to low 40s, which will set us up for Thanksgiving and Friday, having much cooler temperatures as a deep upper level trough and a large high begin to build in. And Friday does look to be the coolest of the days ahead, with a brisk breeze and highs in the low to mid 40s. And then by Friday night, those winds will die down and our skies will clear out and give a good opportunity for some radiational cooling to get underway. And we'll see those lows fall below freezing and possibly into the 20s. Taking a look at this morning's current weather observations on the field here, we do have a scattered layer around 4,000 feet, as well as a broken layer at around 5,500 feet, with over 6 statute miles of visibility. And our wind is more southerly at the moment, remaining light at about 6 knots, with our temperature currently sitting at 61 degrees and a relative humidity of 96%. That will lead us to this morning's satellite imagery, where we can see the clouds associated with that showery activity continuing to push further north-northeast and offshore away from our local area. We do have a little bit of activity building in on the backside, and that is going to remain possible over the next couple hours, in which we might see a shower move through. However, in the wake of that first frontal passage, we do see an area of which clearing is expected, and our cloud cover should diminish a good little bit there before we see that second front move through this evening, and clouds will build in conjunction with that passage. As for this morning's model run, we are taking a look at the HER here, a high-resolution model on a 24-hour loop, and we can see that we are forecasted or modeled to remain dry for a majority of the day once we get out of these early morning hours. And once we get to around noon, it looks like most of that precip will be well out of the area, if not just leaving the area offshore. Taking a look at today's 24-hour forecast for the day ahead, We do have a slight chance of seeing those showers, as mentioned earlier, in the earlier hours up to around noon, and then we'll see those chances diminish and fall out, which we should also see a slight decrease in winds until that second front moves through. We'll see an increase of winds, possible wind advisory, although at the moment those winds do look to remain just shy of such. And then on the backside of that second front, we will see the winds die out once again and remain light with clear skies, helping to see some cooler temperatures for this evening. And speaking of temperatures, it does look like we'll climb into the mid 60s today and then drop into the lower 40s, of which, if proper radiational cooling does get underway, we might see temperatures drop into the 30s. And bringing us on to the short-term risks chart here for the next couple of days. On Thursday, we can anticipate mostly sunny conditions with clouds building in as we move through the day and a high of 49, so a bit cooler compared to our previous days. And then Thursday night, mostly clear and slightly breezy with a low of 32 and a slight chance of a wind advisory. And then Friday, mostly sunny and breezy and a high of 43 with a slightly more elevated chance of a wind advisory. We will have to see how that plays out, given that it is still a day or two out there. But those modeled wind values were just shy of the wind advisory criteria, so bringing a little awareness to that possible scenario. And that is going to conclude the daily weather operations brief. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll be back at 10 o'clock with the 7-day outlook.